And welcome to Internet Marketing Demystified. This is part 2 in our 4-part series. I'm glad to have everybody on board. I'm Eric Concius again. I'm going to turn off my camera so we can get right to the presentation, if you don't mind. We're going to do a tiny bit of review and then just go for broke. So here we go. There's a little Marketing 101 review. It's important to review this and keep getting it in your head about the point of our marketing strategy before doing anything. And that is, you got to remember your 3 big questions. Who are you? What are you providing? And what's in it for your target audience? So the example I gave last time was a roofing contractor. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you can communicate these 3 things clearly and quickly, it's going to help your marketing efforts a lot better. And always ask yourself, what are your goals? Are you trying to foster brand awareness? Are you trying to build up a customer base? Are you trying to advertise a sale? Whatever it is, be specific about what your goals are for your marketing. So, as I mentioned, there are 4 sessions for this webinar. Last week, we talked about website content and how to make an effective website designed for conversion into sales. And today is about Facebook, Google+, and Twitter, or I'm just lumping that into the concept of social media. Next week, I'm very excited about next week. It's all about YouTube and specifically about video. And then finally about email marketing. But tonight, this is what we're looking at is social media. So let us begin, shall we? So you have a website, now what? So you spent a lot of time, money, you built the perfect website, but how will people find you? And remember, I got this quote from my friend Kyle, who's on the line, and Kyle might be kind enough to type to me who he got this line from. I did some research on the internet, cannot find the actual author of this quote, but basically no one will see a neon sign in your basement. You know, you could build a really pretty thing to look at, but if it's not open to the world, no one's going to see it. You have to hang that neon sign in a window so people will see it. So what are the functions of social media? I did a little bit of research on this to be a little more scientific or researched. This is the source here is from digitalinfusions.com. This is a really nice article, so when I share the slides with you later, you might want to look at this. So according to this article, there are 3 basic functions of social media. To inform. Oh, I'm cutting out, I'm told. I will talk slower so that hopefully you'll get every word. Is this better for everyone? Somebody tell me, please. Nobody's telling me. Am I completely cut out? I need to know. No, it's fine. Good. Okay. Then I will go on, but I will talk slowly. So according to this article at Digital Infusions, the 3 functions of social media are to inform, to innovate, and to execute. So I'm going to break that down. To inform, like you need to get out information. You have a new product, a new service. You've got news in your industry, something to inform your readers. To innovate, to learn from visitors how to make your product, to make your service better, stronger, and faster. I just abbreviate that as BSF. A good thing in innovation is to poll. At the end of this webinar, for example, I want to know if I will okay and how I can improve it, because I've got 2 more webinars, and I want to see if my return on investment of giving this free class is something that resonates with you, people who are engaged and interested in internet marketing. So I'm going to ask you questions. So that's the innovation. And then to execute, can't hear me at all, Kyle is telling me. Rebecca, can you hear me? This is a problem. Michelle can hear me. Rebecca can hear me. Kyle can't hear me. This is a Kyle thing. So, well, 3 out of 4 can hear me, so hopefully I will suggest to Kyle to log out and log back in. I don't know what's going on there. I'm sorry, Kyle. So the third function is to execute. And this is really where you get your conversion. This is where you get somebody to act on some information that you're sharing, to subscribe to an email list, to buy something, to share something, to get the word out. These are the basic functions, but all of them are really about engagement. At every point, we want the reader, the viewer, the consumer of your social media to engage with what it is that you're sharing. This is very different from your website, which by and large outside of the blog remains static. You're not changing the homepage content daily unless you're a website who is centered around a business model where you do that, where your blog is your business. If your blog isn't your business, then if you're an accountant, you're not changing your address every day. You're not changing a lot of things every day. This is why it's important to blog and then use social media so that you keep having new content and new reasons for your visitors to come back to you, to look at you as that authority. Content is king, though. Sharing something that's totally irrelevant or uninspired or uninteresting to your visitor is not going to turn into a repeat visitor. So it's important to remember that that thing that you share should be something of substance and something, if you think about it, that you yourself are interested in. Gaining a fan base is about having engaged followers who help you get the word out while reminding those who like you that they still like you. Now, let's separate that. So gaining a fan base is about having engaged followers who will help you get the word out. If you know anything about social media, it's not solely about touching on your immediate viewer, but turning that viewer into somebody who will then tell their two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on and so on, from the old shampoo commercial. So that's the ideal state of your fan base. But why do you need to remind your fan base that they still like you? It seems sort of self-evident, right? Well, why is a good question. It's all about the mere exposure effect. This is a very fascinating thing, but this is scientifically researched. This is from the Wikipedia article. The mere exposure effect is a psychological phenomenon by which people tend to develop a preference for things merely because they're familiar with them. I'm pausing for a second because Kyle just texted me and said that everything's frozen. Is everybody with me and okay? If somebody could just type for me, please, so I know. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, everything. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm getting a phone call. Kyle, you're the only one with this problem, apparently. Yeah, try a different browser. I got to get back. I got everybody else waiting. All right. So, sorry about that. We wanted to try to help Kyle as much as possible. Using Internet Explorer. I'm surprised that's working. I'm glad to hear that it's working for you, Robert. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat this. The mere exposure effect is a psychological phenomenon by which people tend to develop a preference for things merely because they are familiar with them. In studies of interpersonal attraction, the more often a person is seen by someone, the more pleasing and likable that person appears to be. This is why, for example, when you go to a networking meeting and you see the same people week after week, that they become friends. You like them simply because they become more and more familiar to you. This is why Coke and Pepsi still advertise. We all know what Coke and Pepsi are, but they're capitalizing on the mere exposure effect. Now, in the advertising world, the mere exposure effect suggests that consumers need not cognize advertisements. This is exactly why Coke and Pepsi, they have their ads all over the place, and you barely pay attention to them. The simple repetition is enough to make a memory trace in the consumer's mind and unconsciously affect their consuming behavior. This is relevant to social media and social marketing because the idea here is to remind people of your brand, of your product, of your service, of you, so that they will be more inclined to use you or refer you out because they like you. So what do you share? You need content. And remember, the content has to be informative. It has to solicit innovation for your product, and hopefully it will execute some goal of yours. Those are the three goals of this marketing. So in informing, let's use some concrete examples. Maybe you're sharing a new business practice at your firm. Maybe you want to share with your audience something interesting and enlightening related to your industry. That's what I tend to blog about, and that's what I also share on social media. Establish yourself as an authority. I can't tell you how important it is to establish yourself as an authority in your field. When you start out a business and nobody knows who you are, you can't just assume and presume because you are of quality and because you have great service and all these things that people trust you and like you. You have to prove that. And one good way to prove that is to keep being in people's ears and demonstrating through your content that you are indeed an authority. Innovation. So again, polling your audience, asking for feedback of your products or services. Let your audience know you want to deliver top quality and that you listen. Now, despite any evidence to the contrary, when Facebook or Google or any of these monolithic things that we all interface with make changes to their interfaces or changes to their products, they do a lot of market research. Now, we as the consumer might not like the result, but it wasn't sort of determined willy-nilly. There's a lot of the most successful businesses are ones that keep researching and don't settle on their product. They keep trying to make it better. And the only way to really make it better and more consumable is to find out what the consumer really wants. And of course, in execution, here's some good executing calls to action. You're having a sale today only. Give something away for free in exchange of contact information. Get an audience to share for content. So, if you are creating some multimedia campaign and you really want to get the word out, you can tempt your viewers with some secret content or some free PDF or something. The only condition of which is they have to share your content through Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or something like that. So those are just examples. But in all cases, the object is to get your audience to engage. And as long as your audience is engaging, they are more likely to take advantage of your service than not. So we're going to begin with Facebook, the social network. And this comes from the Facebook business page. The advantages, they say, of having a business page, which you could set up for free, and I'm going to show you my page, is you become discoverable. So when people search for you on Facebook, they'll find you. You can be connected. You can have one-on-one conversations with your customers who can like your page, read your posts. We'll talk a little bit about that because they've made it a little bit more difficult for that. Timely, your page can help you reach large groups of people frequently with messages tailored to their needs and interests, and it's insightful. There's amazing analytics, which I will definitely show you in a moment. So let's go there right now. I'm going to now share with you my computer screen. I already have this loaded up, so give me just a second. And just somebody please let me know that you could see my screen now by telling me what's right here that I'm circling. Somebody would do me the favor and type that so I know that you see it. I can see it. Excellent. So this is the Facebook business page, which basically talks about all the things that I just said. And what's nice about this, and I put in the slide, this particular URL is it's sort of the one, 1, 2, 3 of setting up your page. You press this button, you could set up your landing page. It gives you some guidelines of what you can do here. But let me show you a live business page here. So this is the Make Tech Better Facebook page. And when somebody else visits it starts right here. It doesn't say admin panel or anything like that. And you see you've got this nice cover picture. You've got the logo here. You have a little bio of your business, some photo area. And then you'll see here, I already have some calls to action. Here I have a free ebook. I've got a forum. I don't do much with it. If I go down here, you'll see I have other tabs here, and I can talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to show you how to do it on this particular call because I want to talk really about the way we can use this very quickly and easily. And then what you'll notice is down here we have stories going on. So this is about a USB drive that you can plug into your iPhone now, which is pretty cool, actually. And over here, you'll see a scientific guide to writing great headlines and 10 amazing new things your iPhone can do. You'll notice all of my content that I'm pushing out on my page is related back to technology, which is what my firm is about. And you'll also notice here, May 20th, May 19th, May 20th, I can go down here, May 19th, May 18th. So it looks like I'm posting a lot and often here. In actuality, I've scheduled all this, which I will talk about a little bit later. But what I'm trying to illustrate to you is the kind of content that I'm pushing out. Also, you'll notice once you're logged in and you look at your business page, you could see how many people saw this in their feed, in their Facebook feed. So when you look at your own Facebook feed, let me just call up a Facebook page. This is my home Facebook page, and of course your feed is where all your news comes in. There we go. And you have most recent stories, and I can scroll down here, and these are usually individuals, and somebody's birthday. I can keep scrolling down, and then every now and again, because I subscribe to my own business page, one of those posts will appear in my timeline. If you have a Facebook page now, you may notice that some of these are not going out to as many people as actually like your page. You'll notice I have 220 likes, but only 13 people got this served. So first of all, you have to bear in mind that not all 220 people are going to be logged in at the same time that this is posting. And furthermore, Facebook has created this thing called Boost Post, which if I spend money will go to more of my followers than not. This isn't recommended practice. It's actually money better spent taking out a Google ad, which is targeted, than boosting a post like this. Because frankly, this is to engage people who are coming to my Facebook page primarily. This one was served by 29 people. What's nice though, if you, this is a little tiny hack. If I wanted to share this on my own page, and if all of you are friends of mine or like my page, and I hit share, I'm going to share this on my own timeline like that. And, you know, I could say, oh, wow, never thought of this. And then I'm going to share the link. What I will see is that instead of sharing this or being served to 29 people, because I shared it on a personal page of mine, and I have over 1,000 friends, this number will go way up. So that's a little tiny hack. And if I ask each of you to also share it, every time I get somebody to share one of these things, the organic reach, instead of 20 people, winds up being a lot more. Well, we could try that as an experiment. These little tabs are really cool because what you can do with these is make a little marketing campaign. So here I see, oh, a free ebook. Let me click on that and see what I've got there. it takes me to this page. Now, what you didn't see, because I already liked the page, there's a like gate on here. So when I try to access this page for this free content, a overlay appears here which says, like this page to get your free ebook. And then once you hit the like button, then this will appear. You subscribe to the email list, and then you can get the free ebook. So that's just a little piece of the functionality there. But what I want to show you is this area, your page manager. And I want to draw your attention to a couple of things that, that are important. So one, here you could see the reach of your post, and you'll see here 13, 13, 29, 46. See that guy right there, 223? That's because I shared that on my personal timeline. So if hopefully you have friends that are also interested in what you do for a business, this is just a way to get more reach. You can invite friends to like your page, and every now and again I will go through here and I'll say, he hasn't liked my page yet, he hasn't liked my page yet, she hasn't. Start inviting some more people and see what happens. And you try, and hopefully you get more and more people liking your page. The more likes you get, the more reach you have. This, I find, is telling. So pages to watch. What you can do here is you can actually add pages of your competitors. So what I've done here is I found website designers, and they range all the way from 4 likes. I added this one because it's a developer in New Rochelle where I live, all the way up to Rockland Web Design, which has 670 total likes. And here I am. I'm number 4 in this group that I put together. And I also can see, compared to my competition, am I getting more likes or fewer likes? And are my likes going up, or am I getting unliked? Likes don't mean as much as they used to, especially because the way Facebook pushes out your posts to your fans' feeds. But what it does for me is it tells me how engaged an audience do I have in general. So that's a nice little feature that I happen to like, and I look at that I look at that often. I want to show you this. This is my total page likes over time since February. So I want you to notice in February here I had 168, had a little dip, and then pretty much flatlined at about 178. And if you look right here, April 12th, I go from 180, and within a week and a half, I go up to 216. That's a very significant jump. And you might ask, well, what did I do on April 12th to go from 180 all the way up to 216 and eventually 220? I gave out something for free with a like gate. And again, that like gate is you get this free content, you get this free thing, but all you have to do is just like my homepage or like my Facebook page. And trying to figure out that thing that people like or want or need, that's the tricky thing. And that's where your engagement in order to innovate comes in. Figure out something, it's a low-hanging fruit thing, and it doesn't have to be a lot, especially if you give it a value, like this webinar I'm giving away. It's $150 value. I'm not making that up. My hourly rate is $150. I'm spending an hour talking to all of you. So that's worth something for a consultant. So if you could figure out what it is that you want to give out for free and how to set that up so that the only way to get it is to like the page, that's a way to increase your audience and then increase your reach. So I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to go back to our presentation here because I want to go on. There we go. Let's get to that presentation again. And open there. Give me a moment. And now we're going to talk a little bit about Twitter. So this is Twitter Basics from the business page there. Connect in context, this is what they say. On Twitter, people talk about what they care about and what's happening around them right now sounds like Facebook, including your business. This gives you powerful context to connect your message to what's most meaningful to your customers in real time. P.S. This is not just Twitter, this is all of social media. And then they go on to say, engaging with real-time tweets can influence conversations in a way that can help build your business. If you're fans of the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon, he really took Twitter to an art form, and he, along with Ellen DeGeneres, have broken the internet, as it were, with the amount of tweeting going on. Twitter goes on to say, listen and learn, see what your competitors are tweeting about, or search for industry keywords to listen and gather market intelligence. You're going to hear this over and over when it comes to any marketing strategy. Find out what your competition is doing. If they have more clients than you, if they have a larger audience than you, they must be doing something right. So find out what they're doing right, and you do that too. Don't copy them verbatim, of course, but copy their practices. That's, it's a good starting place. So I wanted to do, for the way uninitiated, and forgive me if you already know this, very, very bare bones basic Twitter stuff. So tweeting is about getting out a very brief idea, promotion, etc., quickly. So focus is the key. You're really only sharing one tiny idea. When you see the pound sign, that's a hashtag, and that's a form of metadata. It allows people to find trending topics aggregated. So the way a hashtag works is, if you were to tweet, I like cars, then anybody who is following your tweets knows that you like cars. But if you write, I like hashtag cars, then what happens is anybody else searching for the hashtag cars will find you, even if they're not a follower of yours. What Jimmy Fallon does on the Tonight Show, which is very clever, they come up with a hashtag. They make up a combination of words. Like say, in fact, there's a whole television show on Comedy Central called At Midnight, which is all about Twitter, and they have like hashtag, worst pickup lines, something like that, and it's a way to get immediate gratification and engagement. If you're looking to follow certain trends, it's pretty cool. An @ sign followed by the username is to mention or reply to a user. I'm going to show you a real life example of all of this so it's not so abstract. So here we go again. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what we're talking about here. Bear with me a second. And somebody let me know if you could see this Twitter page. Somebody type, yeah, I could see it, or something like that. Anybody? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, Rebecca. So this is my Make Tech Better business page. And you'll see we have the @ sign here, @Make Tech Better. So if you were to tweet and you wanted to get my attention, you would use @Make Tech Better, and then you could say something. So if I go to, instead of my feed of tweets, who I'm following, I want to show you my own tweets. So here, this is the new, if you haven't been to Twitter in a little bit, they reformatted the your page. So you could have a much wider background photo and a larger logo looking. You can also pin a tweet. So if you write something and you want it to be at the top of your page so that when a visitor visits your page, it'll always stay up top, you can do that. So here's something that I pinned. It's a picture, your website shouldn't suck, make tech better with us. So it's always there. And then you start to see tweets below that. So I found it here. I use a product called Quitter, and apparently 2 people unfollowed me on Twitter. Well, that's sad news, but what we're going to do. But here, I tweeted, attend my meeting, powered by AnyMeeting. And this is actually an automated tweet. It came from the AnyMeeting website, and I scheduled that to tweet out. You'll see over here, I used the hashtag free so that anybody else searching for the hashtag free, I can go like this. Let's say you're just looking for free stuff. This is a great way. If you go into Twitter, you can use the hashtags And I don't know why it's not. There we go. And here's results for hashtag free. So here, remember to download After Effects free on Bandcamp. Oh, good. I can get a song for free. If you could pick one of these songs to download for free. PDF Expert for iPhone is completely free. So that's the value of a hashtag. Let me go back for a second here. Wait. So this is my personal page, and I want to show you the value of an ad. So if you're trying to get in touch with the mover or shaker in your industry, or get in touch with a celebrity or a politician or something like that, you're not going to really be able to do it very well on a Facebook page or emailing or through the website. You're going to get a secretary or a gatekeeper, bodyguard, somebody who you won't have direct access to. But on Twitter, people are still answering tweets from them. When you follow a celebrity, follow a politician or whatever, and they tweet, it's pretty likely that it's actually them. So this is a case in point. This is a really cool, I'm going to talk about this as a case study later, but I used the @ for this comedian Emo Phillips, who I've been a fan of since the 80s. And what I did was I posted this picture. This is a quote from Emo Phillips. I used to think that the brain was the most fascinating part of the body. Then I realized, look what's telling me that. And I made this into a graphic, and I mentioned him. He then not only liked it, he retweeted it. So if he retweets it and it has my @Figueroju, that's my my handle there on Facebook, then it's going to have much greater reach. Let me show you. I have 397 followers. I'm following 905 people, but I have 397 followers. Emo Phillips, on the other hand, if we go to his page, and if you've never heard of him, he's a very crazy guy, 46,000 followers. So the value of having a celebrity like this guy retweet something that you tweet out about your industry or about something interesting, whatever, pushes out to 46,000 people, almost 47,000 people. And take a look. Oh no, that's 3 followers, you know. Yes. So if you look here, the photos, these are all photos of Emo, and this one is mine. And it's right there on his page. And take a look. @Figueroju, that's me, behold the brain, in your face, inspirational, hang in there, kitten poster. This blew up. I got a lot of retweets on that and a lot of exposure on it. Now, granted, there's a lot of exposure to people who are fans of Emo Phillips, and he's a very interesting character indeed. So if I'm trying to reach fans of comedians, that's the way to do it. I would just finding people in your area, in your field of expertise that people are following, and if you can get their attention with one of your tweets and they retweet it, it will get your message out really well, which is nice. I'm going to go back to our presentation. I'm being very conscious of time, and I want to give us some time to for Q&A. So we're going to get back to our presentation now. And we're going to go on to Google Plus. And Google Plus, Google Plus. Google Plus, I'll just read you their definition from their page. Google Plus pages provide businesses, products, brands, and organizations with a public identity and presence on Google. Pages can currently be created for one of 5 categories: product or brand, company, institution or organization, local business, or place, arts and entertainment or sports, and other. The reason I mentioned this as a social network, when Google Plus first came on the scene, they were trying to be the next Facebook, and that didn't happen. So Google Plus said, you know what, we're going to still go full steam ahead, but we're going to have a different focus. And their focus really benefits businesses the most. And the reason it does is because it ties in Google Maps, the Google search engine, and YouTube into this balanced network. And Google sees it so invaluable that if you have a business, an established business that's been filed as an LLC or a S Corp or C Corp, something like that, they've already built a Google Plus page for you, whether you want it or not. You need to claim that page. And it's a very simple process. You click on claim this page. You tell them what the address is of your business. They will send you a postcard in the mail with a code, and then you complete it, and then you can claim your page. So here, Google goes on to say that the page complements your existing website by giving your business a public identity and presence on Google. And as you see here, if you choose the local business or place, it will also appear in Google search results and on Google Maps. And yes, it's another great way to get found. So let me just show you what that looks like here. Give me a moment. We're doing pretty good with the back and forth, I hope. And can you please let me know if you can see this Google business page? Somebody will just let me know by typing yes. Good, thank you, Paul. So here, if you go to google.com/plus/business, you can click on the Get Your Page here, and this gives you a nice overview of what it's about. But what I want to show you is one in action. So this is a Google Plus page for business. Now, I was surprised to see, we had incorporated in 2012, and yep, my business was there. I have a physical address, got a phone number. So I claimed the site, and you see this little shield, verified local business. So that means I claimed it, and it's verified. It's not just the site that Google put up there because it knows I exist. This is an actual Google Plus page. You'll see that I have only 9 followers, but I have 1,500 views. Your views can be seen in a myriad of ways. I am trying to get more people to follow here, but it's just more important that I have this so that people who are looking for me on Google, and they'll find the Make Tech Better site first and foremost, but they'll find us on page 1 of Google in the search. So you'll see here a lot of the same posts that I had on my Facebook page. You'll see here 10 new things that your iPhone can do, for the best WordPress calendar plugins, Again, all relevant content, things to inform my public. And then, of course, to engage when I've announced the webinar that you're on right now, for example. I'll post it here too. Look, there it is. See right there? So it's a good reason to have it. I don't want to dwell too much on Google Plus. Google Plus pages can really be used effectively in tandem with an SEO strategy. And at the end of this series, I'm going to refer you to somebody who really knows how to take this from level 1 to level 2. But I'm giving you right now a lot of the tools that I presently use with a very, very modest budget, but to give you that visibility and to give you that credibility. That's important. Let's see, I showed you the email Phillips page. I want to come back to our presentation, because now I want to talk about what to share, because that's really key. You could share a bunch of, you could share your kid's report card. That's not what's going to be an effective post. So we need to look at some effective content to post. So what to post? I mentioned on our first webinar the website Unbounce. I highly recommend you going there and reading their blog. They have a lot of great information. And in this article that they share called 5 Painfully Obvious but Extremely Effective Facebook Tactics, frankly, these tactics can be applied to Twitter and Google Plus as well, and even to your blogging. They have these bullet points. Yes, image posts drive engagement, but choose your images carefully. They say steal ideas from your other channels. Hashtags are cool if you use them properly. Not all emoticons are equal. An emoticon is one of these things where you use punctuation marks and letters to look like human faces. The colon and the capital D is supposed to look like a smiley face. If you're asking a question, ask it at the end. I'm being very cursory about this because I want you to look at that article, but what I want to focus on right now is about posting pictures. And this is the case study that I walked through. Again, this is that quote that I used from Emo Phillips. And let me just back up a little and tell you how this happened. A friend of mine on her Facebook feed wrote something to the effect of, I think my brain is, it's copping out on me, or it's going the other side. My brain isn't working for me. And it reminded me of what Emo Phillips said. And so I put this in her feed, and then I said, wait a minute, I can make this into something. So that's when I did this. Now, you have to bear in mind, I'm a graphic designer, so I did this in Photoshop. But you can do this super easy with really no artistic skills whatsoever, and I'm going to show you how to do something that's a little bit simpler than this, but just as effective. I showed you the result of what happened with the emo, the emo thing, but I'm going to show you how how you could do this rather easily. So what I'm going to do, once you have the quote or the thing that you want to get somebody's attention with, or that's going to draw traffic, the first place I like to go to is this website. It's called Morguefile, MORGUE file.com. And the reason is you cannot go to Google, find any picture that you want, and do whatever you want with it because photographs have copyright. Well, Morguefile is a free photo archive, and let's say I was searching for a brain. What you find is that a lot of amateur to semi-professional photographers will upload their photos here to get exposure and to get known as photographers. There's that brain photo that I used. If you click on it, you will see you are allowed to copy, distribute, transmit the work, and adapt the work. Attribution is not required. That's awesome. So if I download that, I could do whatever I want with this photo. This tells me so. Most of the files are listed as free. Some of them are not. So you have to read the license carefully. But this is a great place to just start by getting images. Then the next place you can go to is called Pixlr. There are three versions of Pixlr. There's Pixlr Chromatic, Pixlr Express, and Pixlr Editor. I like Pixlr Express. Let me show you why. So this is Pixlr Express. Once you hit that little button, you can hit Browse. You can upload a photo. I've already selected a photo. This is of teenagers. I actually doctored this on my iPad. And then I go over here into Type, and then I can pick some type. Here's a sans serif font, and I could say teenagers. I have a quote that I want to highlight for this. And I can change the color, super easy, hit apply, and there you go. The problem with Pixlr is once you've applied the text, you can't really adjust it. I can undo it, but while you're typing, here I'll write typing. While you're typing and still editing it, you can then move it. But once you hit apply, you're done. Okay? And you could do this, and then once you're done, you hit save, and then you can download it. It'll say where you want to download it, and you're done. It's pretty simple to do, and it's an effective artistic way of messing around with things. But if you are less inclined to, Robert made the joke, brain and morgue, haha, I'm laughing too. There's even an easier way to do this, and that's called shareasimage.com. This is made specifically to get people's attention on social networks. So I've already prepped this. The quote that I thought was very funny is from the Gilbert and Sullivan operetta Pirates of Penzance, which is no longer in copyright, so I don't have to worry about Gilbert coming up from the grave and suing me. And in Act 1 of Gilbert and Sullivan's Pirates of Penzance, young Fred, who is indentured to his piratical pals, who was raised as a pirate but doesn't want to be one. And the pirates, who have made him family, ask him, well, don't you love us? And he says, quote, individually, I love you all with affection unspeakable, but collectively, I look upon you with a disgust that amounts to absolute detestation. And that's what I think about teenagers. I taught them for almost 20 years, and individually they're very nice people, but collectively they are horrible. And so I got a picture of some teenagers. I doctored it up a little bit. I put this text over it. It's branded with my logo, as you see. That's a feature of share as image. I put in the two quotes here. I can actually control their size with this little slider. It's pretty easy. I can change the color of the text. I could change the font, as you can see. I could use different photos, or I could upload my own. And once I'm done, I could hit save and share. Once I've done that, I can connect directly to Facebook and Twitter and push that out. And it's a matter of getting engagement. It's a little bit amusing. So we're looking at this in real time. So now I can share my image. I could, click my Facebook page. I'll post it to Facebook. And it takes the text right out of it and puts it on there. So a few more seconds and it'll be on my Facebook page. Okay. I can even tweet it. And I'm going to tweet it on Make Tech Better. So I'm tweeting that. So from this one area I can, there's an error. Oh, because it's more than 140 characters. So I can, here for this one, I might write all about, and I'll use the hashtag teenagers need to know. That doesn't make sense, does it? Everything you need to know about hashtag teenagers. I will post that to Twitter, and then that should go out if you're following me on the Twitters. Good. And you could use some other things too. This guy is what I want to show you next. And I'm not going to go back to the presentation. I already have this loaded. So we're going to go to Buffer. So you might ask yourself, how am I going to get all this content? It sounds so heavy, and I got to tweet what? If I'm getting people's attention and they got to be online at that time to see what I have to write, and on Facebook, I got to be online all the time, and I got to tweet at 9 in the morning and 5 at night, because that's when my followers are online and engaged. How am I going to? I can't do it. It's too much. Forget it. Well, Buffer. I'm using the free version of Buffer right now. What's great with Buffer, you can hook up your Facebook page, your Google Plus page, your Twitter page, your LinkedIn page, all this stuff, and you can tweet right from here. You can do it all. You could say, having a great hashtag webinar on internet marketing. Woohoo! All right. Now, instead of hitting share now, I'm going to click Buffer. And what Buffer will do is send this. See, it's just scheduled it for 10:52 a.m. So I've made a calculated mistake because it will push out that time as opposed to right now. I should have just done it now because I was talking about something now. But you'll see that this will publish at 8:42 a.m. on my Facebook feed, on my Google Plus page at 10:52 a.m. Sorry, my Twitter page will push it out at 8:50 a.m. and my LinkedIn page has got other things in the queue. So that's not going to even publish until Saturday, the 24th. So what's really cool about Buffer is that when you have it, you can set up on your iPhone or on your iPad or even through here a specific address, an email address. Don't give it out. And you can actually email to that address a website or something interesting, and it will then go into your Buffer feed. So let's say, let me go to TechCrunch because TechCrunch has technology articles that I might want to push out to all of my social media. So I'm going to go over to here. Well, let's look for a story that might be relevant to web design or something like that. Let's see, smartphones, Apple beats a deal that's happening, HR video to phones and tablets. Okay, that might be interesting. So I'm going to click on this. And here's the page that I want to buffer to my fans. So this is something about HR video. So let me just read it so I don't sound like an idiot when I'm sharing it. So a new platform a new platform, built 5 years of knowledge, gathering in front of stellar example of our commitment to develop. All right, well, it looks like it's about delivering video content. Okay, so I have in Chrome this little extension here, which is the buffer extension. I click on this, and then it pops up. This is going to publish to all of my social media all in one fell swoop. And I could either share it now or buffer it. And I'm going to buffer it. So if I hit buffer, it's going to add to the buffer. It should be fewer than, it wants me to upgrade. No, I'm all right. And now if I go back to my buffer, it gets added. And that will push out at 5:27 p.m. It's an easy shortcut. And so what you could do is you could literally just spend, 20 minutes a week, and you will have all of your social media taken care of and scheduled, ready to go, and you don't have to worry about sitting at your computer for so long. So this was intended to be a...
All attendees are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
This was intended to be really an overview of how social media functions, what you can do with it, and a couple little tricks to make the experience fun and not too daunting. I've unmuted you, so if you hit *6 if you're on a phone, or if you have a computer, you should be able to see an unmute button and ask some questions. And I would entertain not just questions, but any feedback, because I need to innovate. So I would ask if you have any questions now. Nobody wants to be the first. Oh, it's like pulling teeth. Is anybody interested in asking a question? Make me feel good. You could even say, oh, you like this thing, or you found it interesting. Nobody. I'll go into discussion mode.
All attendees are unmuted.
Hello?
Okay. Somebody asked a question in the...
Oh, somebody's asking questions there. Oh, okay. Yes, I didn't scroll down. I apologize. You know what? I'm going to go back into Q&A
All
mode.
attendees are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
Okay. So I'm going to start. Ooh, there's a lot of noises there. I'm going to start with Robert's question. How does Buffer compare to Hootsuite? That's an excellent question. Hootsuite was developed, for those of you who don't know who Hootsuite is, Hootsuite was a Buffer app that started for Twitter, but it basically functions the same way. There's a couple more bells and whistles with it. I've done a lot of reading on both of those products, and in real life use, I've tried both, and I'll tell you, I used Hootsuite for about a day and hated it. It's not elegant or as easy to use as Buffer. For people like me who just want to schedule my social media and sit down for 20 minutes, find some interesting things to engage my clients, and then go, Buffer wins hands down. Just sheerly from ease of use and turnkey use. Some people disagree. They like Hootsuite more because it's more feature rich, but I got to tell you, I did not explore the features so much because it was just infuriating to implement for me. There you go. Paul asks, for B2B business, which social media works best? The answer, Paul, is all of them. You can't be in only one place. I really have to be everywhere. The question is, what are you going to put most of your energy into? For B2B, really the place to be is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn does have a news feed similar to Facebook and Twitter. It's not a place where people go to be social, obviously. It's really centered around business. So when you post content out to your LinkedIn feed, you want to make sure it's really on point. But you really can give calls to action on your LinkedIn feed. You really do want to develop a lot of followers or connections, I believe they call them on LinkedIn. And that's a good place to find different business partners and people who are looking for the same or similar kinds of clients as you. Having said that, depending on how ambitious you want to be with your social networking, and it all depends on your industry. If you're a physician, for example, you can always be engaged by giving health tips. That's a simple one. Same thing in the legal profession, although you got to be careful in the legal profession you don't get sued for giving out free legal advice. But short of that, I mean, for my industry, being website design and development, I tend to push out content that is centered around all things internet and technological, things that I want to read about. And I find that I get engagement on those things. I do want to say something about getting followers and getting likes. And that is, we have somebody who's coming to ask a question, it looks like. Who is this? I'm gonna be patient. Somebody, it's Michelle, I think. Michelle, do you have a question? Silence. Okay. But that's okay. Speak up if you do have a question. Getting followers, this is a long game prospect. It looks like she's muted. Yeah, on my screen, it looks like you're unmuted. So, Michelle, if you're trying to talk, I don't know what's going on, but we cannot hear you. And I'm listening. So in the meantime, getting followers, what you want to do is bear in mind that as you develop following and as more people share and like you, the more attention you will draw. And this is especially true on Twitter. If you like a certain segment of people, they will find you and like you. So, for example, on my personal page, I follow and like comedians, stand-up comics. Well, after I followed 3 or 4, all of a sudden about 5 or 6 or 7 started following me, and the general practice is that if you follow someone, they should follow you. Not everybody does this, but so if you're looking for people in a certain industry, follow 5 or 6 or 7 people in that industry, and you'll start to find that a lot of people do follow you. I'm getting about 3 to 4 followers a day now, where I wasn't getting any about 3 months ago. So this is working, but it is a long game. And if you're going to do this yourself, you have to bear in mind Rome wasn't built in a day, and a social media empire was not won in a day or a week or a month. It does take a while, but pretty soon you hit a stride and you figure out those. Look at your posts on Facebook and look at your posts on Twitter. See what's getting retweeted, see what's getting favorited, see what's getting liked and shared, and push out more content of that nature. And that's going to really drive more traffic to you. I'm going to ask if you've enjoyed the first, should have said second. The second webinar of this series, I'm going to ask you to please like us and share on Facebook. Let's put this to practice. And if you like me and give me a similar shout out, I will like whatever page you would like. And share with your friends a link to our next webinar, which I've already set up. You all should have been invited to it. And if not, I will rectify that in a moment. Our next webinar will be May 28th, next Wednesday. I'm really excited about this one because this is all about the power of video when it comes to internet marketing. It is the hottest thing. It's a lot of fun. You can be very creative with it, and I'm going to ask you to really make it a point to be there. And then June 5th, we wrap things up with email campaigns and email marketing and all things email. If you have first of all, if you do have any further questions, please feel free to email me. I love engaging with my audience, as you can tell. And you'll get a link pretty soon to this recording. And hopefully the sound quality is okay. I'm going to ask you at the end of this is for innovation, you're going to get a brief survey. Please complete it. It's going to let me know about the quality of the broadcast, what you thought of me as a presenter and everything, so that I can do a better job next time. And that's important for me to know. So I'm going to ask you for that, if you would. And if nobody has any other questions, I'm going to have to say goodnight. It is 8:01, and I want to respect your time. So have a wonderful evening, and like that there. I don't see any other questions. Thanks again. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. It's good to see people from like Maine. That's pretty far away. I like that. Bjorn, thank you. And Eric ends with a K, but that's okay. I will try. I'm hard pressed to spell Bjorn correctly, so I'll give you a pass on that one. But I'm glad that you're all able to make it here, and I will stop the recording. Cool. Very funny.